Well, The Strangers Chapter 2. We got a sequel to a reboot that we didn't need at all. But yet, we got this one, and they're doing a third. But in the meantime, we got this. Now, I went and saw this. Now, I was actually the only person in the theater that saw this. And I'm not surprised. And a lot of this came to the way that they did the first one. It was really bad. You know, what the hell can they do to add onto this? Like, how can you make a second and eventual third movie? But in the meantime, how could you make a sequel to this when this was really bad? And this one showed that they don't give a shit. It's about money. It was very much, hey, let's milk some money out of some people. That's exactly what this is. So, The Strangers Chapter 2, now, at the end of the first one, main character survives, but it's now like, the strangers are just like, oh, we didn't kill her. We gotta go find her. We gotta kill her. And it just goes from that. This was exactly what I thought it was going to be. Was it dumb? Absolutely. It was completely dumb, loud, and predictable, just like the first one. The only good thing I can say about this one is that it's short. Much like the first one, it was short. And this is just something where it's like, you don't know what the hell you're doing. Much like the first one, I mean, I said it in the first one. There were so many times during it where it was all quiet, and I was just like, all right, this is going to happen. And it happens, and I went, see, I knew it. I knew it. And it really just makes me think, like, if I wasn't a horror geek like I am, and if it was just an average watcher, how would I react to this? Like, would I be the same way? Because it's all quiet, something's going to happen. It's going to be like, okay, this is going to happen. And then it happens. So I would really like to get like someone who doesn't really watch horror a lot, but then they watched the first one, or the chapter 1, and then maybe chapter 2, and just compare. Like, yeah, were you expecting like these jump scares to happen? And what did you think of it? So this one decides, hey, we're going to start this out as being like Halloween 2, where it takes place in a hospital. And apparently this town's hospital has the worst, insurance, because there's no security. There's no security cameras. There's like nobody working apparently. Like, even the people that are working, they all get killed off pretty quickly. But even at night, it looks like, oh, it's only a couple people. And it's like, no. This is the typical horror movie hospital where there's no security, there's no budget, there's no nothing. And so it starts out like that. And then the second half, it just becomes, the second act just becomes a survive the woods kind of movie. I'm like, I've seen that before too. What the hell? And then the third act just goes, all right, we're going to have this big, climactic moment. And it's like, no one cares. And, apart from this being just absolutely predictable and just incredibly lame, jump scares, they're all loud. It's all the typical stuff, dang sounds, and it's just like, stop that. We're done with this shit, please. But then they decide, hey, it's chapter 2. We got to add some more story to this. We got to add more lore to this, which in hindsight was the stupidest decision they made, because what made the first movie, what made the original really good, was the fact that the strangers had no background. You didn't know anything about them. It's called The Strangers for a reason. This goes, no, we need some story. We need to know how they like became killers. And it's like, what the fuck? So now they're not strangers anymore. They're strangers with benefits or something. And it's just what the fuck are you doing? And the added backstory they do, it's just so stupid. It comes down to, you know what? Fuck it. I'll just say it. No one saw this anyway. This just says, okay, one of the strangers, when they were a kid, they had a crush on one other kid. But then that other kid, some other girls decided, hey, we like this kid too. And she immediately started going like that whole like, oh, he's going to love me kind of like that cliche in movies. And it reminded me so much of Rob Zombie's Halloween, like, and how Michael became a killer. It's just like, okay, so you were bullied. You didn't have the best family. And like that's it. That's apparently all it takes to be a killer, apparently. Welcome to the world. But this one goes like, okay, so she's hanging out with the boy and then these other girls show up. So she runs off. And what's the first indication of being a killer? Oh my God. She grabbed a rat and she killed the rat. Oh my God. She's insane. No, fuck off. This was bad. I can't explain. And it's pointless. There's no reason. You have a movie called The Strangers and don't give them a fucking backstory. Don't do it. That's part of what makes them interesting. And the whole point of this is it's showing like, yeah, this stuff can happen to anybody. That's what's scary about it. Is the fact that, these, mask wearing people just show up to your house. You don't know who they are. They're just attacking you because, like the film said, because you were home. That is scary. That's horror. This takes it all away when you add a fucking backstory that you don't need. And it's stupid and pointless. Even if it wasn't stupid or pointless, there's no reason to put it. And then they almost like make you feel like sympathy points where it's like, oh, isn't this sad? No, they're killers. No, I'm getting no sympathy from this. Like, no, you take those sympathy points and fuck right off down the street for it. Come on. But then again, this movie didn't make me mad per se. There was parts where I got irritated because they're adding all this stupid and pointless stuff. But this was exactly what I thought it would be. Just incredibly lame, predictable, stupid, dumb, just like the first one. I don't understand why they made this. I mean, even the point there over the weekend, it bombed so hard that people are just like, why are they even going to do another one? Like, are they even going to do it? But I will say this, there's a post-credit scene in this. Well, not really post-credits because it's mid-credit scene where they show snippets for a chapter 3. So I'm like, so they already shot it, so they have to release it. Otherwise, that'll lead to lawsuits. So they have to release it. So it's almost like a thing where it's like they looked at it and went, oh shit, we're committed. We got to do it. Oh man. So this is just no reason. There's no reason why you should go see this. I mean, I did it because I was just curious, but luckily I got in for free because I have a lot of points. And yeah, if you want, just go watch the original. I mean, the original is a good one for so many reasons. And this one, the first one, but also this one especially because they just added so much stuff that wasn't needed. It's just, there's no point to this. This got rebooted for no reason other than to, hey, let's see if there's some more life left in this thing. And there's not. This is something where it's like, this should have stayed a one and done. This did not need a sequel. This did not need to be rebooted. This just didn't need to happen. And yet it does. And it just makes me sad how they're pumping crap like this out and not like stuff that actually they should do. So this gets a terrible. So like I said, this didn't piss me off, but it did irritate me a bit because I was just like, okay, you're just taking away, the title here. This should have been called now. The third one should be called The Strangers with Benefits because we know more about them. And it's like, no, that was what made it interesting is that we don't know anything. So, movie sucks. Period. Done.